The next few topics are important, but they also to an extent fall outside of what I would consider to be the direct developer workload. They're much more an IT pro or administrative workload. So we're going to talk about them. You may perform both. You may be a DevOps, I think is the term that folks like to use at this current state. But even if you are strictly development, letting the folks that are operational know that these capabilities are there if they're not aware of them is important, in understanding how that may impact the way your application runs and the way your application is maintained within the Azure environment is also important. So we have a couple of different ways that we can maintain the configuration of virtual machines that are implemented in the Azure environment. The first is something called desired state configuration. This is actually a capability that has been part of the Windows environment for a few versions now and is directly and natively available in Azure, not only for Windows, but also for Linux virtual machines. All right, and so the desired state configuration in the Windows environment is an extension of PowerShell. Okay? And so it's really kind of an interesting mix of PowerShell and objects and JSON configuration definition. All right, there's some new language features that allow you in a hierarchical way and in a declarative way to define the way that you want a server to run. Okay, the things that you want configured on the server. So rather than say scripting out some kind of installation script that says, run the script to install this and then run the script to install this, you set up the desired state configuration and say, okay, I want a server that has these things. And then what happens is that is going to be processed automatically behind the scenes to set your server up the way you want it, which I think is pretty cool stuff. So there are new language features, new commandlets, other resources available for this. This is, again, outside the scope of what we're going to do much with in this course, but it is pretty cool. It focuses on the configuration of your software environments. Simple as that. All right? And you can maintain existing configurations. In other words, if I have existing virtual machines and I want them to have a certain configuration, I can apply desired state configuration to them through Azure. Or when I create a virtual machine, then I can define that desired state configuration to set the virtual machine up the way I want when it's created. That's a pretty powerful capability. And definitely something that you want to look at and make sure that whether you are the operations/administration person or the person you work with understands you have this capability, because it can make deploying your application environment a lot easier.